Hello, in this video I'll be going over the three different classifications of authority, as well as discussing, in my opinion, which type of authority I believe would be the most efficient form of power. Firstly, allow me to go over what authority is. The textbook defines authority as the institutionalized power that is recognized by the people over whom it is exercised. It is essentially power that is seen as rightful and accepted by those who are subject to it. Unlike other forms of power, which can be based on force or coercion, authority is based on legitimacy, meaning it is recognized and accepted as valid within a specific context. The three different types of authority that we will be going over in this presentation are those of traditional, rational legal, and charismatic authority, all three that have been defined by prominent sociologist Max Weber. Traditional authority is a system where legitimate power is conferred by custom and accepted practice. The authority in the system is inherited or handed down, often tied to cultural or religious traditions. The basis of its legitimacy is on the sanctity of old age customs and the belief in the sacred nature of those in power. Some of the biggest examples of traditional authority include those of monarchies like the British royal family, as well as religious leaders in theocracies such as the Pope in the Catholic Church. Traditional authority tends to be impartial to change and can often come with a risk of incompetence when certain leaders arise to power. Rational legal authority exists when power is made legitimate by law. The most obvious example of this form of authority is the current United States government. Authority here is tied more so to official positions rather than strictly individuals, such as those elected into Congress, as well as the President of the United States. The basis of legitimacy here is on the formal rules, laws, and bureaucratic norms that are enforced by those elected. That gives everyone in the system a equal responsibility to choose someone who reflects on their beliefs within their laws and policies. Charismatic authority is referred to when power is made legitimate by a leader's exceptional personal or emotional appeal to their followers. Its basis of legitimacy is pretty much solely up to that, the follower's belief in the leader's abilities, often in times of crisis or change. In the US government, leaders often combine this form of authority alongside their rational legal authority to become an even more influential figure. Uh, Examples could be those of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Ronald Reagan, as well as our current president, Donald J. Trump. Charismatic authority can also suffer from incompetence and is seen to lead to impulsive or extreme decisions on the part of those in power. Another example, not of the US government, would be that of Adolf Hitler, who we will be talking about in a later slide. The biggest shortcomings of traditional authority seems to stem from the fact that it gets so deeply rooted in established customs and long-standing practices that it often makes it resistant to change, innovation, or reform. Previous powers that were based on tradition often see big downfalls stem from leaders being unfit to govern. The succession process of leadership being inherited rather than being earned or based on merit can also be seen as arbitrary and outdated, as stated by political journalist and author Eve Livingston, describing the British royal family as a glaring symbol of the unearned privilege and inequality that pervades the root of British society. Traditional authority also usually shows a lack of standardization, where decisions are based on precedent, not rules, which can lead to inconsistency and favoritism within the system. Charisma can definitely be inspiring in regards to certain leaders, but can also be highly unpredictable and unstable when it falls into the wrong hands. Authority can end up being highly personal and dependent on the individual leader's personal charm, as well as their vision and whatever agendas they may have, instead of their formal qualifications. That means that when the charisma fades or the leader dies, the authority oftentimes collapses. Leaders will also resort to emotional appeal instead of rational processes, which can lead to impulsive or extreme decisions. One of the examples I've chosen is Hitler's rise to power in Germany, as well as his leadership of the Nazi Party, where he was able to sway the masses of Germany through his speeches by not only promising appealing policies, but also offering a religion like redemption and salvation of the country. Overall, I believe the rational legal authority system to be the most efficient form simply because the downsides of traditional and charismatic authority unfortunately outweigh the benefits compared to the stability that rational legal authority provides. With rational legal authority, we are able to make decisions predictably and fairly, delegate responsibilities clearly, and adapt to changing needs without destabilizing the system. Although it is not perfect, the rational legal authority provides the most stable and continuous form of power based on solid amendable laws without being dependent on a single person or tradition, and can be applied to larger populations and organizations, and the laws and procedures being able to be updated through legal processes.